Okay, we are live. Welcome to the Radical Women's Summit presented by The Body Is Not an Apology. I'm Kiana Prema, and I'm so honored and grateful to be here. I'm sitting in today for Sonia Renee Taylor, the founder of The Body Is Not an Apology, and it is my great honor to be here with Tess Munster, Jade, Beall, and Miss Biko, who has popped off the screen for a moment, but will be with us in just a moment, I'm sure. And I'd like to just take a moment and introduce these amazing women to all of you who are with us today. If you're here, we've got a Q&A chat box happening. So we'd love you to interact with us, send us your questions, say hello to us right now, even let us know that you're here, and we're excited to be here with you. So we've got Tess Munster. Tess Munster is an acclaimed plus-size model, Southern girl based in LA who turned her dreams into reality. She's a makeup artist, blogger, activist, and founder of the body positive movement, F Your Beauty Standards. She was also recently named one of the world's top plus-size models by Refinery29, Huffington Post, and Vogue Italia. Welcome, Tess. So happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Also, next to Tess, we've got Jade Twilite Beall, who is in Tucson, Arizona, and a world-renowned photographer specializing in truthful images of women to inspire feeling irreplaceably beautiful as a counterbalance to the airbrushed, photoshopped imagery that dominates mainstream media. Her recent work, A Beautiful Body Project, has garnered global attention from the BBC, the Huffington Post, and beyond. Jade's book series and media platform features untouched photos of women alongside the stories of their journeys to build self-esteem in a world that thrives off women feeling insecure. Jade, it's such an honor to have you here with us. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks. You make me sound good.
Well, thank you. I'm happy to share this bio, and we can also give thanks to Sonia, who is a brilliant, brilliant writer who has prepared all of this for us. And last but not least, we have Miss Biko. Last year on Biko's 22nd birthday in Life, Lessons Learned from Living Authentically, a landmark one-person show at the historic Short North Stage, they publicly came out as intersex/transgender with the support of family, friends, and community. Miss Biko has blossomed into one of the brightest young leaders for folks like us. Biko has been featured alongside Janet Mock and was named in the Who's Who in the LGBT Columbus and was honored in the 2014 Trans 100, a list of the top 100 transgender activists and thinkers in the country. Miss Biko, thank you so much for your amazing work and for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to be here. It looks like we've got 6 viewers that are with us right now, so thank you. Welcome. We're just getting started at the Radical Women's Summit, and again, I'm Kiana Prema, and I am filling in today for Sonia Renee Taylor. For those of you who have been following along on social media, Sonia is in the intensive care unit right now with her brother, who is recovering from surgery, and the news reports are that he's doing really well. So we are sending all of our love to Sonia and to her brother, and really grateful for those of you that have joined us. So women, radical women, so amazing to have you here. And I've got a few questions. I just want to go through with you, and the idea today is to share our insights and our wisdom and our experience and our tools, our best tools, in how we can really live in radical self-love, what that means. And so I was hoping that I could hear from each of you. If you were to tell us your radical self-love story in just 2 sentences, what would that be? Maybe Tess, we can start with you.
I was afraid that you were going to start. I think it started when I did my photo shoot nude, seeing my body naked without Photoshop and realizing I didn't look as bad as I thought changed my world. That's a run-on sentence, but I still think it counts for 2 sentences. So.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, it's such a powerful thing when we really see ourselves and get to see that more objectively and realize what we look like on the outside. And I can relate. My journey of being a self-expressed woman in radical self-love actually started with hula hooping, and I remember filming myself and as I was learning these tricks, and in my mind and in my head, I knew that I looked ridiculous and terrible, and then I saw it and was like, oh, I actually don't look as silly as I thought I did, and so that was really inspiring for me to move forward. Thank you for sharing. Jade, how about you?
Ooh. I lived in self-loathing since I was 10 years old until I posted a nude photograph of myself for the whole world to see. Self-love, inevitable. Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Thank you. And Ms. Biko, how about you?
Oh, it's muted.
It's
It
muted.
looks like hers is muted. Nope, there we go.
There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Don't you hate when that happens?
Yeah.
Okay. So the 2 sentences that could best describe my self-love journey is a little more than 2 sentences, but it's like a theme in my life. It keeps coming up and up. And it's actually a poem by Lucille Clifton called Won't You Celebrate With Me? And the poem says, won't you celebrate with me what I have shaped into a kind of life? I had no model, born in Babylon, both non-white and woman. What did I see to be except myself? I made it up. Here on this bridge between starshine and clay, my one hand holding tight my other hand, come celebrate with me that every day something has tried to kill me and has failed.
Mm.
So those are the 2 sentences.
Amazing. Thank you. That's fantastic. Before we go any further, I've got a couple other questions here that I want to dig into, but I think maybe I'd like to just give each of you a chance to share a little bit more of who you are and what your work is, and why that work is so important, why radical self-love and body empowerment is so important. Ms. Biko, I see you up on the screen right now, so if you'd like to maybe start with that, we'd love to hear you.
Yeah. So I've had a very difficult time dealing with my perceptions about my body, and especially with the intersections of being black and trans and what it means to exist in America. I'm from Ohio. What it means to exist here in Ohio in a black trans body. And I think I internalized a lot of the oppression that and self-hatred that was projected onto me, and especially about my body. And I'm completely done with all of that, and I'm here nude because much like I'm sorry, what's the person's name with the bangs?
Jade.
Oh, Jade.
Jade?
Yes.
Hey boo. Okay, yeah. I posted a new photo, and I did a guest blog for The Body Is Not an Apology, and it was just talking about I used to weigh 380 pounds and how my life, my favorite book growing up was The Very Hungry Caterpillar, and just how my life mirrors that, and how now I'm a butterfly.
Oh, that's great. Oh, so beautiful. So we actually have a question from Taylor Jones that maybe we can let everyone have a chance at fielding here. But Taylor asked, how do you deal with the days it is hard to show your self-love? Do you have any tips or tools those days where it just feels a little bit hard to love yourself?
Almost every other day. It's a practice. It's a complete practice for me. And I try to embody the fake it till you make it. And I just there's crappy days, and I just think that's life for anybody, no matter who you are. There's crappy days, but it's okay. It's okay to have a crappy day.
Yeah.
It's okay to feel kind of blue and to be loved, and still you're worthy of greatness, and be like, man, I'm having a crappy day, and I'm gonna fake that I love myself. I love myself so much. and practice, practice, practice. That's all I can say.
Yeah, thank you. Anyone else want to throw some insights on that question?
I think, Jade's right. We all have bad days, and, we have days where we feel amazing, and maybe we'll take a ton of photos of ourselves, or we just kind of catch ourselves in a mirror and we think like, wow, like I'm hot. And then the next day you can wake up and, you've got a pimple, or your hair looks crazy, or, you're just not feeling good. Like, whatever, like those little things, that tend to kind of like throw us over the edge, or someone looks at us the wrong way, like, whatever. Like, we all have those days, but I think it's important to remember that that's not your reality. Like, you have those days and you have those moments, but, remembering that you are worthy and you are, beautiful, whether internally or externally or both, and just remembering that tomorrow is a new day, I think that really helps a lot too. And sometimes, I need to put on some red lipstick. It might just be as silly as that. Like, I feel kind of poopy today because I was traveling and I didn't have time to put on makeup, and I'm sweaty and I feel gross, but I'm just like, like, I know, like, I can still rock it. It's just it's just your mind, and
Amen.
you have to just like conquer those things that we tell ourselves that aren't true.
Thank you for that. Absolutely.
Word.
Yeah.
I really came to preach. So, I'm a person of faith, and Romans 12:1 says, be not conformed to the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And so that's what I meant by I didn't know we came to preach, because that's what that reminded me about. And it is how I deal with these days. And I made a choice to like come to y'all today, raw, bare, like no makeup, like Tess, like sweaty. I haven't introduced my grandma.
Hey, Grandma.
Hey, Grandma.
She's 91 years old.
Mm.
And, I'm her primary caregiver, and I travel a lot, but we recently had to call in hospice, and so we're doing that in home. And today is a hard day to show love for myself, Taylor Jones, and I think a really good way of dealing with that is surrounding yourself with people who can like uplift you and empower you and speak to how beautiful you are and will show up with you with no makeup on and go through the dirt with you. And
Yes.
So that's how I deal with it. And so it was really important for me to be on this hangout, with all of you all. And I'm sorry I forgot your name, Jade.
Oh, please.
Well, you women are absolutely inspiring for sure, and the fact that we're all able to get together today is such a blessing. And I want to remind everybody too that we're here because of the work of The Body Is Not an Apology and Sonia Renee Taylor. And what she is building in the world is an online platform that would allow us to get together in this kind of format on a much more regular basis. And I'm showcasing, hopefully all of our viewers can see the link for her When We Say Yes campaign, which is on Indiegogo. If you don't see the link, you can go to Indiegogo and do a search for When We Say Yes, typed all as one word, and see what it is that she's building. Because we all know that Facebook and other social media, can be really limiting for us. We're censored in what we can share there. And what Sonia is proposing is that we build an online website where we can share all of the information around self-love, around body empowerment, without having to see all of the derogatory advertising and body terrorism that comes in our traditional media, where we can have our own social network and connect, and where we can also have online education in formats like this, online webinars, where we can connect with those leaders and thought leaders in the field to give us these tips and these tools on how we can really show up in our full power each day and create that reality which we really want for ourselves. So those of you that are here, please go and check out the campaign. If you can contribute any dollar amount at this time, we are in our final hours. I believe we're under 36 hours now. And most importantly, though, if you could go and share that link, go and like it, share it on your Facebook or your Twitter, and help us get the word out so that we can continue this really powerful and incredible work. So hopefully, I'm going to just click that right now to show the item, show the link. You can hopefully see that, those of you that are viewing. And I'd like to turn the floor back over to Jade. And Jade, just hear from you again on your work and what you do and how you found self-love, radical self-love, and what you're doing with body empowerment with women. Like, why is this work so important in the world? What have you found?
I know it's important because it was so pivotal for me. And as soon as I started sharing a little bit of my vulnerability, hundreds and thousands of people wanted to talk to me. Little old me in Tucson, Arizona, who just was trying to find some peace with hating myself. And it's pretty powerful. It's so powerful just being vulnerable, just like we're talking, showing up with no makeup. These little things that are actually pretty profound. And so, yeah, I gained a whole bunch of weight when I was pregnant, and I took this photo just like so ready to change this story and being addicted to weighing myself. And I took this photo with my very different looking body, posted it on my website, so proud, all full nudes. Like, I hope my dad doesn't look. I'm just not ready to share it with him, but I'm ready to share it with the whole world of look, it's okay. And I'm going to call it beautiful. I am going to call it beautiful. Why do you have to call it beautiful? It's okay to be ugly. That's a lot of people tell me that all the time. And I'm like, if you want to use that word, that's cool, but to me, a word that's empowering is beautiful. The whole, the inside, the outside. Life didn't mess up when it created us. It's beautiful. And anyway, so sharing a little bit of vulnerability has allowed me to connect to women, sitting here with all of you gorgeous ones all over the world, and it's pretty phenomenal. I still wake up a little amazed that I get to sit and hang out with you. and it's so simple, just by being vulnerable, just by being like, hey, I have bad days, and I'm working through it, and I'm living my radical life. Sonia's work, My Body's Not an Apology, when I first heard about that, I was like, wow, right. It's not an apology. It's just, yeah, this collaboration, this global collaboration of self-love and radical empowerment is really fun. And I'm doing my best over here in Tucson. We got a radical self-love empowerment thing in Tucson with Jess Baker and Leora, and yeah, we're holding it down.
Yeah, thank you for holding it down so much. Appreciate you and your work. And Tess, how about you? I'd love to hear you as well.
It was cutting out in the beginning, so I heard what Jay said, but are we answering the question that was asked?
You're welcome to answer that question if you have some more about, but I was also thinking, yeah, like your work and what you do and how you found radical self-love to be, why is it important, and maybe tying that into how you connected with the body is not an apology.
Well, I had wanted to be a model my whole life, but I'm from a small town in Mississippi, and I'm 5'4", and at the time I was about a size 16, and I wasn't tattooed because I was 16, uh, but pretty much because of my height and because I was a little large, and this was 10 years, 10 or 12 years ago. People kind of laughed at me and basically told me it would never happen. So, I kind of pressed on because I thought it was important to show different bodies other than some, and I think a 5'8", size 12 white woman is beautiful, but there was no diversity, and there's still not diversity if you're looking in the industry as far as, transgender or African American or Asian or anyone past really a size 18. So I would love to see more than that. More than just myself and the select few that kind of push the boundaries of beauty that are considered mainstream models. And I know that's like a side rant, but I'm going somewhere. So when I finally was able to break through and become a professional model, I did that because there was no one that looked like me when I was shopping and buying stuff, and it was really frustrating to me. And I finally accomplished my dream, and I thought, seeing myself on billboards would make me fulfilled. Like, here I am from a trailer park, now a size 22 and tattooed and still short, being able to do what I love. But I was posting my images online and people were ripping me apart, saying, you're too fat, you shouldn't be wearing that, or you're not allowed to cover, you're not allowed to show your stomach, or you can't wear mini skirts, or just stupid stuff that people tell us. And then I was laying on my bed and I was pissed, and I posted 4 photos of myself online, basically saying, who are you to say what I can look like, and why are we trying to fit into society's unrealistic standards of beauty, and women are killing themselves every day to fit into a mold that doesn't even exist. And that's how I started my body positive movement, Up Your Beauty Standards. And with that, that's where I found fulfillment, was connecting with women all around the world who felt the way I did, and was asked by Jess Baker, who Jade mentioned, to be the keynote speaker at the Body Love Conference.
Which was amazing, I just have to say. You had us all in tears, sobbing. Oh my gosh, it was so good.
I was a mess. But I'm here doing this today because I wouldn't have been able to find the strength if it wasn't for Sonia, because I happened to ride with her from I met her at the airport, the day before the conference, and I was ashamed that I didn't really know who she was, because I was very depressed at that time in my life. Like, I was doing my movement, I was feeling really knocked down, and she had approached me in the airport and prior to our flight. And I know I'm giving a really long version, but I owe Sonia a lot, because she ended up staying next to me in the hotel, and she really helped me during that time. Like, this was my first time speaking, and she was giving her advice, and I feel like everybody should be lucky enough to get to spend that time that I did with her, and that's why I'm such a believer in what she was doing. And even though I was speaking, I didn't really have much time to hear many speakers, but I was able to hear her speak and hear her story and why she's doing The Body Is Not an Apology. And everyone was crying alongside with me, listening to her, share her work. And it was really inspiring, because I knew that I wasn't alone, but I felt finally like I wasn't alone when I met Sonia. And so, when she started this campaign, or started the funding to start her site, I knew that it was something that I wanted to be a part of, because, like I said, if it wasn't for her, I I don't know if I would have been able to do that. And that moment has really changed my life and helped me like push forward the past few months. So so yeah, I'm a big believer in what she's doing. Totally.
Oh, so beautiful. Thank you.
And I just wanted to add in there, I feel so privileged that I got to be there for both of those. I got to hear Sonia speak at the Body Love Conference and Tess, and I just, in my whole world, I went home high. I was like, hey, I could do anything. And it was, again, that sharing the vulnerability, being so honest and raw, speaking, saying, I've never done this, and here I am, I'm going to do it. And it was epic. Changed my life, too. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Awesome. We have got a few more questions that I'd like to bring up. Let's see. Rev Katie Norris says, Ms. Biko, she's speaking to you. What has being a caregiver for your grandmother taught you about self-love? I was a caregiver for my mom, who is in hospice at home, until I moved a month ago. Caregiving and working with seniors totally changed my understanding of the need for self-love. Would you like to answer that? What has being a caregiver taught you?
Yeah, I just feel so honored and blessed that I get to serve my grandma in this way. And I know we all, like all of her grandkids and stuff, felt like they were her favorite, but I really felt like I was her. And it makes me feel like all of those little extra spoons of potato salad and that extra hunk of cake was like building me up for this time. I learned from my grandma last year when she was 90, and we were like not sure how long she had to live. We're still not sure, but I was afraid to quit my job and like follow my dreams because I wanted to be here for her. And she blessed me right then and there and told me to leave and go and like live my life. My grandma was 91, so like it's part of me is grieving, but part of me is celebrating too, like that she made it so long and so many, like I probably won't be 91. So if anything, it's taught me to show myself love now, but not only like show myself love right now, but show the people other people who I love, show them that now too. It's a very interesting time in my life. So many things are going like cool for my career and stuff. But I'm dealing with a lot at home, and so one thing that keeps coming up, it's like a theme in my life, is balance. And I think finding a healthy balance is a great way that I show love for myself. Like, balance is good.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's definitely a theme in my life too, is balance. There's so much that we do and we want to do, is we're inspired and we want to serve, and we have to remember to serve ourselves first. And one of the things I share and I teach through the work that I do in healing and coaching is love you first. You have to love yourself first so that you're fulfilled and that love can overflow and then serve those around you. Thank you for sharing that. So I've got a couple other questions that I'd like to ask, and one of them, so in the Body is Not an Apology, all of us that are in these ranks, Sonia calls unapologetic posse members. And so the question is, what has been your biggest barrier to living unapologetically, and how did you tackle it? Anybody feel inspired to jump in on that one first?
I think the biggest barrier is in myself. It's the old saying, you're your own worst enemy. I think the mind is a very powerful thing, and
Mm-hmm.
there will be moments where I'm feeling like I'm on top of the world, and then there's one little thing that maybe to other people doesn't seem, I'll tell my friends, and they're like, you're ridiculous. Like, why is that stopping you, or why is that upsetting you? But to you, it feels like your whole world's crashing down. So, I agree with what they were saying earlier. It is about kind of finding a balance, and also being present in your reality, and kind of having to take a step back. And I've recently started journaling because I deal with anxiety, and my mind usually gets away from me and thinks very crazy things that are not real. And so, instead of like taking medication all the time and me feeling cloudy, I'm like, I need to kind of deal with this, and realize like what is real and what is a fear, and kind of finding ways to work through them without letting my mind get away from me. So yeah, I think, yeah, me.
Any particular tools or practices, like when you do catch yourself in your mind like getting away from you, that helps you bring you back to your center and your clarity?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, journaling has really helped. Like, and even if it's my phone, like I carry a journal with me. But honestly, like writing down a list and of like a column, like fears and realities. Like, what is a fear and what is real? So, I'm in a long distance relationship, and we recently got engaged, and I've been over the moon happy, but it's brought a lot of insecurities out in myself. So I am like, oh, like he doesn't love me even though we're engaged. So it's like what's my fear? He doesn't love me. But the reality is he does, and we're engaged.
Mm-hmm.
But those emotions will ruin my whole day, even if it's like me trying to work. Like, I work from home and I'm self-employed. I can't sit around all day and let those emotions and fears, make me feel bad. Or even if someone says something about me online and it's like they're saying I'm a fat pig, well, like that's, like that brings out a lot of fears and feelings in me. But the reality is I'm not a fat pig, I'm a fat babe. And, I like that's not real. So journaling helps, and also making a list of things that I'm grateful for has also helped too, like having a gratitude list.
Mm-hmm.
So writing down the things that I'm grateful for, and actually there's one by my bed right now of, because it's usually late at night, and I'll just jot down like, what am I grateful for? And then you look at that list and you realize like life's not as bad as you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Ms. Biko or Jade, would you like to jump in on that? What is your biggest barrier to living unapologetically, and how did you tackle it? Ms. Biko, you're on mute if you're talking.
I think I have to agree with Tess personally. It is definitely me, because depending on how I am in myself, I can either take other stuff super personally, or I can let it be what it is and be like, that's cool, that's your stuff. I'm good, I am so good with my life. And the gratitude journal, oh my gosh, by far, and journaling in general. For me, it's blogging. Recently, my partner dumped me, and it was so painful. All my self-love practices were out the window. And I just sit there writing, and then with the intention of sharing, and then I'd rewrite it because I was like, oh wait, I can't sound like a complete a-hole. And going over and writing, and then taking some photographs, and then just channeling that energy into art and into gratitude. Okay, so I'm in pain and my heart is broken open, but I have all this art now to share. I've been broken open and I have tons to share. It's pouring out of me. And so yeah, I try not to read comments about my work late at night because I'm really tired and I'm really sensitive at that time of the day. So I have practices of not reading the comments late at night when I'm really tired, and knowing that it's all people's stuff, and knowing that the stronger I am, the better that I can serve others and the better that I can serve myself with living unapologetically. Again, it just comes down to practice. Practicing the life I truly want to live, which is hanging out with people like you guys and making epic photographs of the most diverse crew of people that we've ever seen, and calling things that we've labeled ugly beautiful, and yeah, there's always a barrier, but it's more like a challenge. It's like, oh yeah, you think I can't do that? Watch me. and connecting, interconnectedness. We got each other's backs. We're all in this together. We're all shifting and shape-shifting together.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that's what happens when we say yes. We do that shape-shifting together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you. Ms. Biko?
What's up? Can we get the question one more time? I'm sorry.
You bet. So what has been your biggest barrier to living unapologetically, and how did you tackle it?
I would say the biggest barrier to living unapologetically is oppression. Like, so I'm talking about like white supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about like patriarchy. I'm talking about ableism. I'm talking about like rich people. I'm talking about Christian folks that are like, you know, or just, I mean, like whatever is like was in power that was telling me that who I was wasn't beautiful or worth it. Like that was a barrier. I'm thinking about the violence that folks like us face all around the world. That's a pretty big barrier when you're dead. And yeah, myself too. I agree with Tess and Jade. Like myself, there are so many barriers. It's like easy and hard at the same time. Like it's a catch-22, right? Like you could just say yes when we say yes. I like it.
Yeah, awesome.
I think the barriers, though, it's just seeing that the barriers they're not stop. It's not stop. That's it. It's just life is full of pain and joy, and it's how to honor them both instead of having to not feel one or the other without, you know, like, not jeopardizing our joy. If you can't feel pain, how can we feel the highest joy? If I didn't feel like I was scraping myself off the floor a few months ago after being dumped from this man that I love, how would I know what it is to truly feel deeply? Like, I'm so happy I know how to feel deeply, even though it's ripping me to shreds. I'm alive. I have a woman that I photographed that's in my book. She had cancer when I photographed her, and she has passed since my book was published. But she would always tell me, she's like, you know, Jade, it's been a hard day. She would say all these things, like, I'm happy to be alive, to feel this, because she knew she only had a certain amount of days. She knew, you know, and so it's that, oh, I'm still alive to feel this pain, this barrier, this tear, or this joy, and yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Wow. Amen. This is amazing. I just, so grateful to be here with all of you. We do have another question. This one also is from Taylor Jones. And Taylor says, being such inspiring women, people look up to you and therefore compare themselves to you. What do you say to people that compare their looks and how successful they are to your lives? It's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
Jade, you're up on the top of the screen. Do you want to jump on that one?
Totally. And that's something I feel like in my small community of Tucson, I live in downtown area. I go to the co-op 2 times a day. Everyone sees me. And after my work sort of went bigger, it was like, oh, Jade. And I'm like, I'm still the big-ass dork. I am still the same. There's nothing to compare. And it's just disarming that. I'm so sensitive to energy, so if I feel that, like, slight, if a woman's kind of a little uncomfortable around me, I just try so hard to melt into her. It's like, oh, you look so beautiful today, and what are you doing? How's your child? And just really bring that. It's so important to me to be equal and loving. And I know what it's like to compare. We've been trained to compare each other. We've been told all of our lives that we should compare and be somebody else. So it's again a practice of trying to be super humble and loving and empowering. I want my sisters to feel really good when they're around me, and I know it's intimidating. I have people walk in my studio all the time like, I know you're really busy, but I just wanted to say hi. And I'm like, come say hi, let me have a hug. And it's these stories that we tell ourselves, and that we're better or less than, and this is that we're all equal. And so many people, I used to be accused of only photographing thin white women. And then I was so adamant of expanding and showing, look how I love all of these women, and I want to photograph them endlessly. And now, lately, people have been accusing me of promoting obesity and of only photographing fat women. It's constantly something in there that is a source of wanting to compare or judge. And I just smile and say, I'm just loving. I'm just practicing self-love, and I want to love you. And if you're telling me that you think I only photograph one type of person, then come and let me photograph you. Let's do it. Take my clothes.
Oh, yes, sister. Thank you for that passion. Love that. Tess or Ms. Biko, you want to jump on that? What do you say to people that compare their looks or how successful they are to you in their lives?
I guess I'll go. I think it's important to remind people like that we're all the same, I think that people have a certain expectation of what they think your life is like. Like, a lot of followers online equals money, when in reality, like, I couldn't pay my rent until like 6 months ago without help, from my ex, like, and I'm very honest about stuff like that. Like, the internet is basically a place for you to put out what you want to put out, and to filter your life in a way that you want to, and good and bad. And so, a lot of people hide behind it, and a lot of people make their lives seem better than it is. That's why I always try and be honest. And it's hard because people assume things about me that's not true. Just like Jade was saying, they assume that I promote obesity. They assume that because I'm fat, that means that I'm sedentary, that I don't have an active lifestyle. And they assume that they have a right to have an opinion about the way I live my life, when in reality, they don't. They don't have that right. And I love it when people say, well, I have the right to say this. And that's not a thing. Like, you don't have the right to say anything or judge anyone's life. And so, as flattering as it is that people, compare themselves and say things, I try and remind them, yes, like I said, we're all the same, but then also there's room in the world for us to all do what we want and to be who we want to be and to be happy. We don't need to compare ourselves to other people. We don't need to be the queen bee of anything. You can be the best at what you're doing. I have a ton of friends that are models and a ton of friends that are in the body positive community, and Sonia is my friend, and she has a body positive movement just like I do. Hers is a well-oiled machine, and mine is one person because I don't know how to, like, give up control yet. So she's helping me with that. But it's it's tough, you know. But with that being said, we all can support each other in our journeys, and I think we need to stop pointing the fingers at and saying like, I want to do that, or I wish I could do that, and just be who you want to be. You know.
Amen.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. It's easy to be the expert at being you, right? Like who else can do it but you?
Totally.
So just practice being you and being fantastic at that, and knowing by doing that you're really permissioning others to do the same. And I think that's a way that I really try to live my life as well. So thank you for sharing that. Miss Biko, how about you? What do you say to people that compare their looks or how successful they are to you?
Okay. I don't know what it is about my like person or like how I show up in the room, but a lot of people don't try me. You know, some people get tried a lot. Like some people get tried in person, some people get tried online. Like I feel like I don't get tried that much, kind of, because I limit who has access to me. Like I have learned rule number 1: don't read the comments. Release it wherever it may go, it'll go. You know, like if somebody tags me and I like know them, then it'll pop up separately and say, hey, this is the person you know. You might want to check out what they said. But people don't try me like that. One of the folks I look up to, her name is Tess Madison, and she releases a lot of videos, and she's kind of controversial. But to this question, I feel like it's fitting. One of her taglines says, "Step your pussy up," and I know that's ableist too with step, but I mean we could just bring your pussy up. You understand what I'm saying? Like if you feel like you aren't where you want to be, you can change that. Work hard. Like the things I have worked for, I have worked hard for. That's not to say people have not helped me along the way, because Lord knows, like, and I'm very honest about that too. And so I think transparency, like Tess was saying, is key in a lot of this. Because I just posted a video on Instagram. Laverne gave me a whole bunch of shoes, and I have size 13 feet, and so it's very hard to find like shoes that I want to wear. And I've only been able to do that at Payless. And so that's kind of limited, right? They don't have the sort of selection that one would desire, but the price is right, and so I've been going to Payless. And then I saw on Wendy Williams that Laverne and I and Wendy Williams have the same size feet. And so recently when I was in New York, we were out to dinner, and she was just like, I have some size 13 shoes. I don't think she knew at that time that my shoes had holes in them that I was wearing. And so, but it's just like, again, the universe will rise up to meet you, and I needed shoes, and she had access to that. And I was transparent about it. Like I made a whole video. And so it's on my Instagram, but
I'm watching it. It's great.
Are you watching it right now?
I am too, yeah.
I wish I was like as tech savvy as y'all, but like I can only do one thing, so I'm trying to focus.
Well, I had to see what you were talking about. I love it. So I think that's great.
Awesome. That's so amazing. I love that story too, and just that, remembering that what it is that we're seeking is seeking us too. I know that's somebody, maybe it's even Rumi that has that quote. So whatever it is that we see in somebody else that we're aspiring to, if we're comparing that, we're just recognizing that reflection of ourselves in another, and it's not something that we need to, judge ourselves or get down on ourselves. If we see that somebody has this thing that we desire, it really is an inspiration, right? Like it can be this opportunity for us to dig in and to work hard and to know that somebody else has done it, so that means I can do it too. I think that's the real trick, is instead of seeing something and being like, oh, they have something that I want, I can't have that, or I'm not good enough, or whatever. It's like, oh, they have something that I want, and now I know I can achieve it because they've achieved it too.
And that's a really good point, and join into that. People always send me images of like, oh, Jade, look, someone photographed a mother with stretch marks and a baby. They're copying you. And I'm like, no, they're not. They're making art. I didn't invent the photograph of a stretch mark and a baby. You know, that is what this world is full of, and we are blessed to make art like that. And I want to see more of it, so I hope people are photographing that. You know, no one can do what we do. And that's beautiful, because we all have a message and people who need to hear our message the way that we see it, the way we say it. And I love going to Tess's page. I love reading your vulnerabilities and what you're going through. I'm feeling like I'm a supermodel for a minute, and just living vicariously through your life and your transparency. It's so fun to tap in to each other and our struggles and our joys and not compare, because we all have something incredible to offer. And if we see something that we think is amazing, that's because it's already in us. That's the only way we can see it.
Yeah, that's a great point. Okay, let's just see here. I don't think we have any more questions at this moment, but we've got some love. I just want to give thanks for everyone who's given thanks to us. Alok has said, I think you all are awesome. Thank you for what you do. And Rev Katie Norris said, thank you. Hugs to your grandma and to you. That's directed to you, Ms. Biko. And then Taylor Jones with a big thank you with lots of exclamation points. So thank you all for being here. I see that we've got 10 viewers that are with us right now, which we're so grateful that you're here. That number has been kind of going up and down, and we're about an hour into our hangout. We've got another 30 minutes left, and so I just want to really quickly give the shout out for why we're really all here, and that is to support the Body Is Not Apologies work. And when we say yes, 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 and I'd love to invite everyone to take a moment and hop over, if you are tech savvy enough, or just take this moment to go ahead and do it. I'm going to share this up on the screen, so hopefully all of our viewers see the link for Indiegogo. And if you don't, you can go to Indiegogo.com and do a search for When We Say Yes, all one word, and it will bring you to the crowdfunding campaign for The Body Is Not an Apology. Those of you who are just joining us or have come in a little bit late, I'm Kiana Prema, and I'm really grateful to be here today. I'm sitting in for Sonia Renee Taylor, who is the founder of The Body Is Not an Apology. I've been part of her team for this campaign to raise funds to build the new website, the world's most comprehensive online platform for education, social networking, and inspiration around radical self-love and body empowerment. And so we are counting down the hours. We're under 34 hours left to reach the goal of $80,000, which will allow this amazing website to come into the world and to continue this amazing work that Sonia and her team have been doing for 3 years, totally free, fully just in service. And so now they're ready to take it to the next level. So if you would go and check out the page, please contribute whatever you might be able to contribute at this time. And the most important thing that you can do, though, even if you can give $10, that makes a huge difference. But the most important thing you can do is share. Let your network know that this is happening. And there's share links available right under the pitch video on that page. You can share that out to Facebook. You can share that out to Twitter. Send the link out in an email. We are really calling in our angels in these final hours that really want to support this work. So we appreciate you so much and love you so much, and are just so grateful for all that you're doing and all that you can do to support us in reaching this goal. And I'd like to bring that question around. This is one that I had on my list here that actually came from Sonia, and I'd like to pose it to all of you. Like, for me, as soon as I met Sonia came to me. My work is helping women to live their dreams and to bring in the tools and the resources that they required to share their greatest heart work in the world. So she came to me actually as a crowdfunding strategist to support her in this project. And I knew right away that this was a project I wanted to be in. When she said radical self-love, like my lights just exploded, because I set out into the world after I made a declaration to myself to live in radical self-love and radical self-trust. So regardless of what anybody else was telling me, like I just was going to love me, and I was going to trust me, and I was going to follow those instincts. And it's been an incredible journey. But I'd love to hear from each of you women, why do you feel people should support The Body Is Not an Apology's mission and message, and ultimately this campaign, When We Say Yes? Anyone want to jump in on that?
I'll jump in because the world needs it desperately. And I'm kind of like that. I have blind faith with Sonia. When I saw her speak at the Body Love conference, I was a convert. I was like, whatever you do, I'm doing. I wanted to have coaching sessions with her like every day. I just wanted that. And so why do we need it? Because the world is starving for authenticity and for serious radical love, and being able to share in a more vulnerable way. Like, I love nude photography. I can't post that on Facebook, and that's all right. It's cool, but I would love to share my photos in a more way that is truly inspirational to me. And whatever Sonia says, I want to do. So. Because I feel just like when I visit Tess's page, I feel empowered, I feel good, I need it, it's my medicine. And so yes, I need it for me, I need it for my son, I need it desperately. So let's do it.
Yes, thank you. Yes. Let me say yes.
I agree with Jade. I think it's something that's long overdue. It's something that should have happened a long time ago. I think Sonia is the first person that's been brave enough and strong enough. There's a lot of us that have been inspired by her, whether we kind of realized it or not. And it's a big task and a heavy burden, but a really rewarding one to do what she's doing. And after spending time with her and meeting her, I think that this is like her life mission, and as women we should support each other and lift each other up and empower each other, because if we're not, like, what's the purpose? And if she is stronger and the movement is stronger, then we are stronger together. Because I really believe in, like, power in numbers, and there's a lot of us that feel the way that she feels, but maybe we're too scared, and it's hard and it's discouraging when you post things on Facebook, and I'm sure Jade understands as well as Ms. Biko, like, when you're posting things and you've worked really hard or you're having, like, a good moment, it just takes like 10 trolls. Even though I know that you were saying you don't read the comments, I'm awful and I do. But people, like, rip you apart, and it's so discouraging. But having a safe place where you can kind of share in the fears and realize that you're not alone and have that, like, boost that you might need to get you through a day is really is really life changing.
So it's also surrounding ourselves, again, like who are saying, with the like-minded people. Yeah. It's cool if trolls want to have their opinions. I don't care. That's not my life, but I want to hear what you all have to say.
Totally.
Not them.
So I didn't get a chance to meet Sonia, and I'm really disappointed that she wasn't able to make it on the hangout. We'll have to do it like another Skype session. Yeah. And I'm not aware of any other trans folks of color working with The Body Is Not an Apology. But what I do know is that this has the potential to be a great space, specifically for trans folks of color. I know when I found out about The Body Is Not an Apology, and just as a social media user, I was transformed by the theory of radical self-love. I think RuPaul says, if you don't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love anybody else?
Yeah.
Amen.
But what this means really for my community is the National Center for Anti-Violence Programs and a few other organizations came out with a study that said 50% of trans folks are suicidal or have been suicidal. And I think that that's linked not only with our bodies but with our minds. And so my hope is that when we create this space together, that it will become a space where people can show up whole and authentically in the room. I can bring my blackness, I can bring my transness, I can bring my disabled body, I can bring my I can bring my dying body, I can bring my body, which is not an apology, into this. And this is the moment. If you want to be able to create that space, if you want to be that change in the world, you need to head over to Indiegogo and give what you can. And support when we say yes, and the body is not an apology.
Yes. Thank you. Absolutely. So we have a question here about the Body Is Not an Apology. Taylor Jones again is asking, can we talk about how the Body Is Not an Apology started and how it has grown? Taylor, my recommendation would be go to Indiegogo and check out the pitch video there, because it's all laid out and you can hear it directly from Sonia Renee Taylor, who this is her project, and she shares in that video what it is. But I'll just give you some of the highlights. You know, Sonia started this really as her own, just an own practice and her own self-love. She posted a selfie. She had a selfie of herself in a corset, and she felt sexy in it, but she had a lot of negative self-talk that said, don't do that, and don't post that, people will judge you. And she did it anyway, and it created a response. Other people did the same thing, and they were empowered, they were permissioned by what she did. So she created a Facebook group, and she named it The Body Is Not an Apology, which was after the name of a poem that she'd already created. So those who are not familiar with the work of Sonia, she is an amazing poet and activist in the world. And we've got some people that are jumping into this part and not just viewing us. So I'm glad you're here. Those that are popping in, I'm just going to go ahead and mute you, though. So that was it. And it's happened 3 years ago. And in that time, she has built this following on Facebook from sharing this amazing work in self-love and body empowerment as a tool to create social justice in the world. And now there's over 39,000 followers. And it's been amazing since I've been working with her since about April, I believe, April or May, preparing for this campaign. And at that time, it was about 34,000. So through this campaign, we have had incredible reach. The numbers that are following The Body Is Not an Apology are continuing to go up. And we're incredibly grateful that we right now currently have 744 funders, people who have said yes with their dollars, and have raised $41,228, which is 52% of the goal, which is incredible. Absolutely incredible. And the goal is $80,000. And what that $80,000 is being used for is to build the website. And if you go to the page and you take a look, there's a really fantastic video there that will give you a demo of what that new website looks like. And this isn't just a website that has a blog on it. This is a totally interactive site, kind of along the lines of, you started to blend Huffington Post with Oprah's learning center that she has. This is a place where people can get information, read the news, where there's a whole social network, our very own Facebook type of a platform where we don't have to be censored, where Jade and all of us can post our nude photos if we choose to. Yeah, absolutely. And we can talk about what really matters without being censored in that way. And in addition to that, there's a whole education platform. So we're utilizing Google Hangout right now, which is an incredible tool that lets us get together and see each other and share. So this would be like that to the next level, where we can now actually jump in and you know, Sonia can teach her courses, or we can have guest courses. Maybe Jade or Tess or Miss Nico or even myself are going to show up and share something. And so this takes a lot. It takes a lot of resources financially to build the tech side of it, to create this, to pay for the staff that will man all of that. And like I said before, this has been going on for 3 years, completely out of service, completely free. It's been Sonia and her team just putting their love and compassion and offerings into the world. So this is really a great opportunity for us to make a big difference. And you know, we can all give what we can when it comes to dollars. And again, I just have to reiterate, the most important thing we can do is to share this out. Share it far and wide. There are links underneath the pitch video on the Indiegogo page that you can use to send it to Facebook and Twitter, to send it to your email list. And we launched today, if you look in the updates tab, we launched today the Body is Not an Apology 10 by 10 challenge. And what the 10 by 10 challenge is there is some copy, some words, a letter there that you can copy and paste and put into an email or a Facebook message or a LinkedIn message, whatever social media tools that you have where you have great networks, and send that off to 10 of your friends. And what that letter does is it asks your 10 friends to send it to 10 of their friends and to support the campaign. And so we're saying that, you know, this is our challenge, and we're calling out our friends. There's no ice bucket required. There's been this big ice bucket challenge going around the internet, but this is the 10 by 10 challenge to fund radical self-love. And so if you can help us, support us, and participate in that, we will absolutely see great results. And I know a lot of people will say, wow, it's 33 hours and $39,000 to go. There's no way. And what I can tell you, what I know from the work that I've done in crowdfunding, is that absolutely there's a way. I have seen it happen. I know that it happens. It all comes down to the wire. It's just part of the game. People get excited in the final hours, and we need your help. And also just think, like, who might you know? Like, what organizations or groups could be maybe a big angel for this project, be a big contributor, and come in and support us at some of the higher levels of $5,000, $10,000, and just really make this happen. This is how we do it, and I couldn't imagine a more powerful place for us to call this in than this group of amazing radical women right here, because when we harness our energy and we bring our focus and our intention and our love, and we're just really creating magic in the world. And what magic to see this come together. So I'm so very passionate about this, and I hope that you are inspired to share that passion as well. Okay, thank you. 15 minutes left we have here. So I think we've got one more question. I'm just going to check. Those that are viewing, if you have any other questions, there's a chat box for you. You could go ahead and pop that up, and we'd be happy to answer that for you. Otherwise, I'd like to just drop in on this one. And in what ways does the world hinder women in living their fullest lives? I think that's a great thing to talk about. Is, you know, maybe we've touched on a little bit in each of our shares, but, you know, what ways does the world hinder, and then even beyond that, what steps can we take to overcome those hindrances? Anyone feeling inspired on that one?
I don't even know where to start. I don't. Oh, every way. I think. I mean, I have a hard time. I have a hard time touching on that, because I think it's hard to be a woman, but I don't know what it would be like to be a woman in the world that wasn't white, especially, like, you know, I admire people like Miss Biko very much, because I've had such a hard time being myself, and I was born a white woman, a straight white woman, you know, so I feel like my struggles wouldn't even, and I don't normally say, like, my struggles, like, it's hard to compare, like, things that we've been through to other people, but, you know, hearing other women talk, I think it reminds me, like, you know, that there's still so much like work to be done, you know, like there's so much because you know, the ways that I'm hindered and kind of moving forward are nothing compared to the other women and the other bodies that have to kind of find their way through this world, that it's definitely a man's world. And I think, you know, coming together in a platform like, you know, The Body Is Not an Apology is a great way to kind of start, but it's an overwhelming feeling, but it's also a really it's a really powerful feeling, and I think us just being ourselves in whatever way that means, and pushing the boundaries, and basically putting our hands up and saying like, this is enough, you know, like we've had enough, is you know, is a start. But I don't even know if I can like answer this. And I feel like yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's a tough one.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Absolutely. Jade or Miss Biko?
Go ahead.
I'll go. In what ways does the world hinder women? Yeah, I mean, I already said violence, but I can say it again. Violence, white supremacy, capitalism, patriarchy, ableism, all of these ways hinder not only our bodies, but our lives and our minds, but never our spirit. Our spirit is unbroken, and that's really, if we can just hold on to that, like as long as our spirit never breaks, then I think we will always have something that we can bounce back from. Like there will always be hope. Because yeah, we've already said it. Like Jade and Tess were talking about, like our minds try it, our emotions try it, our like the situations that we're living in, like our environments, they try it. So yeah, that's how we overcome it. Staying in the spirit.
And I think so Miss Biko. So in my work, it's in photography. What hinders women is that I just had a family come in for a shoot the other day, and they decided to come for a shoot with me because the photographer they were going to go to said, oh, and with your photos, you get all your lines removed and your teeth whitened, and we make you 20% thinner. And they were like, no, we don't want that. I'm actually okay with my body, and I would like it to be photographed as it really is in this life. And so they came to me because they know I don't Photoshop that. I don't even know how. I don't even want to know how to make someone 20% thinner. I have no desire to ever know those kinds of things.
20% is like a weird percentage. I wonder how that person like. How they were like, well, 30% is too much, and I think 25% is like, but I think like 20% is a good photo. It's a good number.
Right?
So weird.
The 80-20 rule.
Yeah.
These are the perks, and so here they are, and so that's it. To me, that's a hindrance. That's we're saying we have, in order to get a family shoot, we need to look like somebody else. And the daughter, the 9-year-old, said, I told the people that, why don't they just go photograph someone else and say it's us? And I was like, exactly. We've been trained to want to be someone else. That's a huge hindrance. We want to be someone else instead of being in this skin, crying, feeling pain, feeling those blockages, feeling joy. And it's a huge hindrance to be sold insecurity since we're 10 years old. It's a huge hindrance for whoever we are. And that's my goal with my work is no, you do not have to be anyone else except you, and to be photographed however you choose, and to be called beautiful and praised, and not told that you'll be happy when ... in the future, and being sold insecurity everywhere I turn. There's something that I need because I'm not okay in this body and in this spirit, and yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So true. Reverend Katie Norris is with us too still, and she has more of a comment here. She says, just wanted to say, Sonia gives us her content writers a safe place to write about the things that need to be said in our world. The new site would ensure that all her writers and guest contributors are safe and we can help more people. Yes, Katie, absolutely. Like, the Body is Not an Apology's new site is intended to be just that, to be this safe container, this safe space for us to share what really needs to be shared and to connect with others on that very true, authentic, uncensored level without the body shame, without the body terrorism that we see in most of our media today. And as amazing as tools are like Facebook, like Google Hangout, there's still this element of being under somebody else's rules. So the Body is Not an Apology, having its own website, gives it a place for us to really live fully, live authentically, and fully empowered in our self-love. So thank you for sharing that. We are coming to the end of our time here. We've been together almost 90 minutes now. It's been amazing, but I do want to honor all of your lives and everything else that there is to get to. So just as kind of a final wrap-up, each of you would love to hear, what are you most excited to be working on right now, and share with our viewers, how can people stay up to date with your work, where can they connect with you, and learn more. Thank you so much for all being here and supporting The Body is Not an Apology too. I just want to share that. Let's go left to right today. How about Miss Biko? What are you most excited to be working on right now, and how do we follow that and stay in touch with you?
Yes. So I'm most excited to be here with my grandma, and she woke up. So everybody said, "Hey, Miss Biko." So
hi, Miss Biko.
So between this and doing the Miss Biko World Tour, I'm kind of stretched thin because I'm not sure what my availability is going to look like, but I plan to be in Ferguson, Missouri for Labor Day weekend to stand with the family of Mike Brown and also to raise up the voices of the 5 trans women of color who were murdered in these past 2 months, right? While we were in June celebrating Pride, every week we got word of another trans woman of color being murdered, and it's too much. And so I feel like I'm in a war. I feel like I'm not safe when I leave my house, and yet I've been called. Like, I feel like I have a duty to go and bear witness. And so I'm lifting up Candy Hall. I'm lifting up Zoraya Raiz. I'm lifting up Tiffany Edwards in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm lifting up Mia Henderson, and again in Baltimore. And so that's what the work is doing. It's like revolution time.
It is revolution time.
Yeah, and thank you so much. Just want to deeply acknowledge and honor you for this incredible work, and just really a pleasure to have you here, and deep honor to share this with you. Thank you so much.
Oh, it was a pleasure being here, and it was good meeting you, Jade and Tess. And yes, we have to have like another one with all of us, and then when Sonia is able to come back.
Yeah, my vision for this is that this is a regular offering. I would love to see this happening.
Yes. The next one will be a celebration when we get the rest of this money.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, to that.
Please do whatever you can. All right, I'm done.
Thank you. Jade, how about you, darling? What are you most excited about, and how do we stay in touch with you? How do we follow what you're doing?
I'm just this whole movement of radical self-love, how we all are doing it, is so. I'm so psyched that somehow I landed here and that I get to be a part of this in my own little way. And I'm just continuing to work on my book, The Bodies of Love. And I'm photographing. My goal is to photograph as many women as possible to show our diversity. I would love to photograph more trans women. I would love to just be of service, to make a masterful piece of art of all of us, and to praise it and to celebrate it together, because we're all going through the same stuff. We all know pain. We all know joy. So yeah, here I am waiting for you.
Yay! Thank you. And again, like, just so much love for you and the beautiful work that you're doing. And I'm grateful to have getting to follow you for a few years and see your blossoming. And it's really incredible. And I know that you're touching so many so deeply. So thank you. Deep, deep bow to you, sister.
Yes, bow.
And Ms. Tess Munster, tell us, what are you most excited about in your work right now, and how do we stay in touch and follow you in that?
Well, since February, I've been, I started doing a tour around the United States twice a month, and basically my fans are doing photo shoots with a photographer I'm working with, and a makeup artist, and then myself, and we tour to a different state and a different city twice a month, and the women get the opportunity to have their makeup done. We provide wardrobe from a 0 to a size 28, and we take the photos, and they basically just to get to have a day to feel beautiful. I help pose them, and you know, we have women from all walks of life. From 18, we've even had a 67-year-old woman, and all different shapes, sizes, colors, you name it, they're there. And you know, originally when I started it, I wanted to meet my fans, I wanted to interact with them, but I also wanted them, you know, just, I think it's important, like, as much as I say F your beauty standards, I do agree with that, but I know that for some of these women, they've never even put on makeup or worn a dress or shown their arms or shown, you know, shown their stomach or worn lingerie or whatever, and it's been, you know, to see their faces when they do it has been really life-changing. You know, I had a woman, I was having a really crappy day. I was in Sacramento a couple weeks ago for my stop there, and I was just having one of those days where we were talking about earlier, where you just feel like blah, you know. And I was grateful to be at the shoot, but you know, I met this woman who was at the shoot, and her husband had died a week and a half prior to the shoot, and she had his wedding ring on that he was wearing when he died in the car crash, and her sister had brought her to the shoot, and she was supposed to take the photos as a surprise for him, and unfortunately wasn't able to. And here she was in front of me, crying through her shoot, looking amazing, so powerful, and I'm standing on the side thinking, like, what I'm dealing with is so insignificant to the, like, just seeing the strength of this, like, mother of 3 who's, like, dealing with the loss of, like, her husband and finding a way to feel good about herself, you know. Like, I just, you know, that's why I do what I do. And so you know, I'm going to be doing it as long as people care. And you know, I've kind of taken a step back from modeling a little bit, because I think it's more important for myself currently to give to others, because I didn't always have someone giving to me, and I think, if you know, it's important to lift each other up. So so yeah, and I'm still doing more work with my F Your Beauty standards. But yeah, I'm kind of a, like Miss Biko was saying, even though I was on social media earlier while talking to you guys, I can only do one thing at a time. So that's kind of like my main focus right now. And you know, you can catch up with me on Facebook or Instagram. My website's a mess. I'm not savvy like Miss Sonia. But yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing, just traveling and yeah, meeting amazing women around the world.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your work and just being that beacon of light and inspiration in the world. And I'm so grateful to have gotten to connect with you as well. And so I'm going to just start to bring this to close. We're just a few minutes over. I'm Kiana Prema. I am passionate about serving women in in living their dreams and doing their heart work, and I do that in a few ways, but working with Sonia and the Body's Not an Apology and the form of crowdfunding is one of those things that I do. I'm part of an amazing group called Awake Media. You can find us at awakemedia.com, who are using transformational media tools to bring all of these incredible messages that we all have to share out into the world through crowdfunding campaigns, social media strategies and campaigns, as well as all of the other media sources out there. And I also am passionate about coaching women in their business. So if you're interested to learn more about me, you can find me at embodiedbusiness.com, and I can help you weave those tools of the business with the heart and build something that serves you really well. So women, radical women, thank you so much for being here. To all of our viewers, thank you so much. Again, I got to do the shout out. Please go to Indiegogo and check out the When We Say Yes campaign. I'm putting that link up on the screen, so hopefully everyone who's viewing can see that. If you don't see it, you can go to Indiegogo.com and do a search for When We Say Yes, all one word. That's our hashtag. And contribute what you can. And please, please, please share. Read the updates. Check out the 10 by 10 challenge that we've got going. And I'm calling you all out. Please participate. Send out that message. And
Just do it.
Let's
Just
do
do
it.
it.
Let's do it. So much love. Thank you, everyone. Many blessings. And we'll see you all very soon, hopefully, in another Radical Women's Summit.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.